metacognition is the awareness and understanding of your own thinking processes. It was first introduced by John H. Flavel. He described it as a person's knowledge and control of their own cognitive processes. It's like answering your own thoughts. So, in metacognition, we have two components of it. It's metacognitive knowledge and meta-regulation and control. So, first, let's discuss about the components of metacognitive knowledge. The first one is the declarative personal knowledge, and the second one is the procedural task knowledge, and the third one is the conditional or strategy knowledge. For declarative or personal knowledge, learners' knowledge about things, so their understanding of their own abilities and their awareness of themselves as learners are all part of metacognition. However, this type of knowledge is not always accurate, as a learner's evaluation of their own capabilities may be unreliable. So the second one is the procedural or task knowledge. From the word procedural, which comes from the word procedure. This type of knowledge refers to knowing how to do things and how skills are executed. At this stage, a learner must understand the correct way to carry out a task. This includes following a step-by-step process to complete the task effectively and efficiently. For example, when we are baking a cake, procedural knowledge involves knowing the steps. So there are so many steps to baking a cake. We have to prepare the recipes, the ingredients, and then we have to measure the exact ingredients to have a delicious and perfect cakes. And then there's so many procedures to baking a cake. So the last one is the conditional or strategy knowledge. This type of knowledge involves understanding when and why to use certain strategies while learning or solving problems. So it helps learners decide which method works best for a specific task. A learner with strong conditional knowledge knows which strategies to use, when to use them, and why they are useful in different situations. For example, if we are studying history, which has many dates to memorize, and an average student might just try to summarize all the information. However, a student who understands how to use learning strategies will switch to a method that is more effective, like using flashcards or mnemonic devices. Changing strategies based on the task is an example of conditional knowledge. So, we're done in the components of metacognitive knowledge. So, we're going to proceed in metacognitive regulation and control. So, there are three parts of it. It's planning, monitoring, and evaluating. So, let's start in planning. Planning is the process of thinking ahead about how to approach a learning task. It involves setting goals, choosing the right strategies, organizing resources, and deciding on the steps to take. Good planning helps learners use their time and effort wisely. For example, before starting a research project, a student might plan by setting a deadline for each section, deciding which sources to use, and choosing whether to write an outline first or gather information. This kind kind of preparation is a key part of metacognitive thinking. It helps the learners to stay focused and work more efficiently. So monitoring. Monitoring means checking and keeping track of your understanding and performance while you are working on a task. It involves asking yourself questions like, do I understand what I'm reading? Is the strategy working? Or do I need to slow down or try a different approach? It helps you notice if you're confused, off track, or need to make changes to improve your learning. Example: while solving a math problem, a student might realize halfway through that the steps aren't leading to the right answer. They pause, review what they've done, and correct their mistakes. This process of checking and adjusting is monitoring. So that's the evaluating. Evaluating is the process of reflecting on your performance after completing a task. It involves judging how well you understood the material, how effective your strategies were, and what you could improve next time. The key questions in evaluating include: did I reach my goal? What worked well? What should I do differently next time? So, yeah. For example, after giving a presentation, the student thinks back and realizes they spoke too quickly and didn't explain one of their main points clearly. They decide that next time they'll practice more and use cue cards. This self-reflection is an example of evaluating. So, developing a metacognitive thinking among students needs the creativity of the teacher. Using metacognitive strategies facilitates how learners learn. So also, metacognitive teaching practices makes learners aware of their strengths and weaknesses in learning. Knowing their strengths gives them the confidence to pursue a task, and knowing their weaknesses lead them to strategize on how to overcome their limited knowledge and how to source out the needed information for the task. That's why we have 5 components in metacognitive teaching strategies. The first one is the think aloud. Think aloud is a strategy that helps learners to think aloud about their thinking as they undertake a task. For example, where someone talks through their thought process. So instead of just silently solving a math problem or reading a paragraph, the person says out loud what they are thinking. That helps others understand how they're approaching the task. So it's like verbalizing your thoughts to share it to others. The second one is the journalizing. Journalizing means students write regularly about their thoughts, learning experiences, strategies, or questions. It's used to build awareness of how they learn, and it helps students reflect, process deeply, and take ownership of their thinking. The third one is the error analysis. The word error means mistake, and analysis means breaking something down to understand it. So error analysis must mean looking closely at mistakes to figure out why they happened, and this strategy also helps students to evaluate their thinking where they got wrong. The third one is the wrapper. It is an activity that fosters learners' metacognition before before, during, and after class. It helps students to think about whether they have any assumptions about the task, and afterward to reflect on whether they have understood it. This is mostly used when reading stories. And the last one is the peer mentoring. The best strategy to use when studying with peers who are more informed and skilled. When one student helps and supports another student, usually someone who has less or confidence in a subject or in a school setting. So we have in these strategies, we have the mentor who guides and supports, and the mentee who's the one needs support in learning.